good afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, today's story comes out of Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. Here we go. Says here, no charges after resident shoots, kills man who broke into Austin home, police say. You would think you're in Texas, you know you're going to meet a gun. But anyway, before we get into today's story, guys, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I would appreciate your help. Guys, you can get at me at any time at Twitter, Minds.com, and even Truth Social. So, let us begin with today's story.
I hear some knocking going on, and I thought it was at our door.
Turns out a man was trying to break into the other unit of this duplex on Bethune Avenue, just south of 183.
He's asking for money, telling the neighbors to let him in, going on and on. And at this point, I grab a butcher knife. I don't know what's about to happen.
The woman who lives inside making an urgent call to 911.
And that he was trying to knock the door down and that the resident was trying to hold the door closed.
The intruder then tried the window.
After banging on the window for about 3 minutes, we hear the glass break. We hear the talk of, I'm not afraid of that pistol. 4 or 5 shots were fired off, and that was the end of it.
Police and medics arrived and pronounced the suspect dead at the scene. No one else was hurt.
It was determined that the male suspect was shot by one of the residents in self-defense. No charges will be filed at this time.
Cops say there's no indication that the intruder knew anyone in the home.
Yeah, great family, a mom and a son, never caused any trouble, very loving people. So I was definitely confused as to what was going on.
We spoke with Austin-based defense attorney Sam Bassett. He says it appears this shooting was justified under Texas law.
Guys, and I don't even think we need to talk too much about this, but I think this should be the law across the land. Anyone that breaks in your home should be met with force and deadly force. I will tell you, again, we do not celebrate death here, but we will absolutely celebrate when someone uses self-defense to protect themselves, their livelihood, and the loved ones that they hold and cherish. Okay? We will absolutely celebrate that. And it's fantastic that this has happened. Okay? They may not see that, but every day we cover these self-defensive gun use incidents. I hope you realize, I hope it digs you deeper into the rabbit hole, deeper. You put more roots down into the ground. And when someone tells you, hey, you don't need guns, you have planted yourself into the ground as a great tree, and you say, no, boss man, you are wrong. I have mountains of evidence to prove you wrong. Okay? And this woman has used her firearm, a pistol, in self-defense, shot and killed this man. She's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life. But guess what? I bet you she'd rather have those children safe, or her son safe, than have to bury him. That is a very real fact, folks. And I will tell you, Mama Bear did good. And thank goodness for the Second Amendment. Thank goodness for Texas law, which should be all around the country. But this woman did good. She is a good guy, a good woman. And this is what you're supposed to do. Protect your family. Let's move on.
The person would have a reasonable fear that they could be seriously harmed or even killed by somebody who's acting so aggressively and so violently in entering the home.
Bassett says the case for self-defense here is much stronger compared to other recent shootings. On Thursday, Andrew Lester shot and critically injured 16-year-old Ralph Yarl in Kansas City after the teen accidentally knocked on his door. Then Saturday, Kevin Monahan fatally shot 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis in upstate New York after she pulled into his driveway by mistake.
It does.
Now, guys, those two cases, we are not going to talk too much about them. We mainly cover self-defense use cases, guys. But, man, if you're going to go somewhere, make sure you go to the right address. And guess what? It happens. It happens to us all, okay? But as a self-defender, we have the burden of identifying people. We have to identify threats, and we cannot afford to identify them wrong. We cannot. I don't know what that white woman there, and I'm just giving an example of a description, what she did there in terms of to make this man come out of the house or shoot from the house into this woman's vehicle. What transpired there? We have to know. He's already in a jumpsuit, but you know, you are innocent until proven guilty. What made him do that? And is it enough in the self-defense, statute and just even a regular self-defender? How can you justify someone who pulls into your driveway wrongly and then you just unload? No, we cannot do that. Okay. And then for this particular man, this 84-year-old man, which I just talked about in the other video, it could be the same thing. His case is a little different because this guy knocked on his door. Okay, but if you're shooting somebody who just knocks on the door, then no, boss, that's wrong too. Okay, that cannot be, that's not how we're living. So, I didn't know they were going to bring up those two cases, but anyway, those are not self-defense cases. We won't get into those, but we'll see. I am definitely going to keep my eye on those. But in this case that we've just covered, where this woman has self-defended herself, her son, her house, her livelihood, she was in the right. After you break down the window and you could force yourself into the house, yeah, of course you can shoot him. In my opinion, she should have emptied the magazine. Let's move on.
It doesn't appear from the facts I know that in the New York case, she was posing any threat or attempting to commit any crime on the property of the other person. The young man at the door doesn't appear from the facts being reported that he was trying to break into the house or commit any crime.
Well, that's it on that video, guys. Okay. But there's no charges going to be for that woman, and thank goodness. Okay. We don't need to lock away another person who has defended herself and has done it within the law, right? We don't want to see that. And like I said, we need to celebrate this. This is a win. This is a good job by a good guy. Even though she's a gal, I classify them all as good guys. Okay? So anyway, guys, good people have guns, okay? And what you saw is an example of it. Good people should always have guns. Good people should have multiple guns. And then good people should stash them at various levels, various places in the house, because you never know what could happen. And this is why you carry guns outside of the house. Okay? Good guys should be strapped to the teeth. That's how it should be. Because if good guys do nothing, there will be no good guys.